Disclaimer: this story contains mature themes intended for adult viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. The room was warm, lit only by the soft glow of a Himalayan salt lamp in the corner. The air smelled faintly of lavender and something deeper, like anticipation. He reached for the massage oil, his hands moving slowly, deliberately. And then, he looked at me. It wasn't just a glance. It lingered. His eyes locked with mine in a way they hadn't in weeks, maybe months. There was something in the silence that hung between us, a spark, a question, a memory of how we used to touch, how we used to crave each other. I had asked for a massage to relax, to forget the stress of the week. I hadn't expected this closeness, this quiet heat rising between us. I lay back, my black lingerie barely covering the softness of my skin, the thin straps hugging my shoulders. He poured warm oil into his hands, and the sound of it trickling was louder than expected in the still room. His touch was slow. Intentional. As the oil met my skin, I inhaled sharply, not from surprise, but from the way it made me feel seen, appreciated. The warmth spread across my chest, and I could feel my heart beating faster, not just from the touch, but from the way his fingers hesitated, then continued. As if rediscovering something sacred. Our eyes met again. He smiled, but not the usual half-hearted smile we exchanged during busy days. This was different. It was soft, knowing, and full of something I hadn't felt in a long time, desire. I felt his breath near my ear as he leaned in slightly to adjust my pillow. His hand brushed against my side, lightly, but enough to send a small jolt down my spine. Every movement now felt like more than just a massage. It was a dance, a conversation of touch. My body responded before I even realized what was happening. I wasn't just relaxed, I was alive. Aware. He whispered, "You okay?" I nodded. Yeah. More than okay. The room suddenly felt smaller, closer, more intimate. The boundaries between care and craving had begun to blur. And neither of us was pulling away. Something had awakened. And this was only the beginning. I closed my eyes, trying to relax, but my mind wouldn't quiet. Every stroke of his hand over my skin sent a ripple through my thoughts. I felt more exposed than ever, not just physically, but emotionally. Something had shifted. He lingered near my shoulder, gently pressing into the muscles, and I felt his breath again. Closer this time. My lips parted slightly without meaning to. I didn't dare open my eyes. "You okay?" he asked again, his voice low, almost husky. I nodded. "Machem." When I finally looked up, he was closer, kneeling beside me now, his face calm but his eyes searching. His hand paused just above my waist. He hesitated, then continued rubbing the oil across my stomach in slow, deliberate circles. "I missed this," he said softly, not looking directly at me. "What part?" I whispered, heart pounding. He glanced up. "Touching you like this. You, letting me." His words settled between us, thick with memory. We'd been drifting lately, routines, stress, silence. But right here, now, there was no distance. I didn't know I needed this, I admitted. A small smile tugged at his lips. Neither did I. He stood and reached for a towel, brushing my fingers by accident, or maybe not. Our hands touched, and neither of us moved away. I sat up slowly, and now we were face to face. The air felt charged. "I thought this was just a massage," I said, trying to keep my tone light. "Me too," he replied. But his gaze dropped briefly to my lips before returning to my eyes. That look, like he was weighing something, made my chest tighten. There was a pause, the kind that asks permission without saying a word. I leaned in, just slightly. Not a kiss. Just closeness. And he mirrored it. Our foreheads touched, just barely, and for a second the world stilled. His hand came up to tuck a loose strand of hair behind my ear. Slow. Gentle. Neither of us moved farther. We didn't need to. The tension was enough to make me tremble. I still want you, he murmured. I know, I breathed. It wasn't rushed. It wasn't loud. Just a quiet moment of truth between two people finding their way back to each other. And in that stillness, without even touching lips, everything changed. I wrapped the towel around my chest and stood up slowly. The air between us had changed, thicker now, heavy with something unspoken. He stepped back to give me space, but his eyes didn't move from mine. Neither did I. We were quiet, the kind of silence that holds 1,000 words. Do you want some water? He asked, voice softer than usual. Sure, I said, though my throat was already dry. He walked to the table, poured a glass, and handed it to me. Our fingers touched again, light, casual, but it didn't feel casual anymore. It felt intentional. I could still feel the heat from where his skin brushed mine. Thanks, I said, holding the glass but not drinking. He didn't step away. I don't want to cross a line, he said suddenly. I met his gaze. But you feel it too, right? He exhaled slowly. Yeah. I do. I turned toward the mirror near the bed. My reflection stared back at me, cheeks flushed, lips parted, eyes wide and unsure. I didn't recognize the woman I saw. Or maybe I finally did. This isn't just about a massage anymore, I whispered. He moved behind me, close but not touching. I could feel his presence, the warmth of his body, the slight shift of his breath against my neck. I know, he said. That's what scares me. I looked at him in the mirror. Our eyes locked through the reflection. His hand twitched at his side like he wanted to reach for me but was holding back. We're married, I said, like reminding myself. To each other, he replied, a hint of a smile touching his lips. That made me laugh, soft, shaky. I forgot what that felt like. He reached out then, slowly, and placed a hand on my shoulder. I didn't move. His thumb brushed my skin, and I leaned into his touch without meaning to. My heart was racing. So was his. He stepped closer, so close I could feel the heat of his chest against my back. He leaned in near my ear. Tell me to stop, he whispered. I closed my eyes. I can't. His lips hovered near my neck. The air between us was electric. And then, a knock at the door. We both froze. Neither of us moved. The knock had vanished as quickly as it came. Whoever it was didn't wait. But the moment it interrupted, stayed. We stood frozen, both breathless, hearts pounding loud enough to fill the silence. His hand was still on my shoulder, but lighter now, almost as if unsure if it should remain. I turned to face him fully. His eyes searched mine. Should we stop? I didn't answer right away. My lips parted, but no words came. I wasn't sure what the right answer was. All I knew was how close he was. How warm his breath felt as it danced over my cheek. How the room seemed to shrink every second we stayed in this quiet, aching pull. I don't know, I whispered. He gave a small, nervous laugh. This feels like the first time all over again. I smiled, heart skipping. Yeah. Except now we know how easily we could mess it up. His fingers found my hand, not demanding, just holding. I looked down at them. Familiar, but somehow new. I still get nervous around you, he said. My head tilted. Really? He nodded, leaning in. Right now? Terrified. I giggled, quietly. The sound felt strange, like it belonged to someone younger, freer. Me too. We stood closer than we should have, barely inches. My towel slipped slightly on one side, and I pulled it tighter. He noticed, glanced away respectfully, but his hand tightened around mine. The room was quiet again, but the silence felt different now. Thicker. Full of unspoken want. He leaned forward just a bit more. I felt his nose brush against my cheek, his lips ghosting past my temple. Not kissing. Not quite. My eyes fluttered closed. Time slowed. I could feel the weight of everything, the past, the distance, the longing. All of it resting between our bodies that were so close, but still apart. His other hand came up, trembling slightly, and rested gently on my lower back. Say something, he breathed. I don't want to ruin this, I said. Then don't, he whispered. His forehead touched mine, our breaths tangling. For a second, I thought he would kiss me. I leaned forward, just enough to feel his breath on my lips. And then he stopped. We both stood there, shaking slightly from everything we hadn't done. Everything we still wanted to. The moment passed, but the tension didn't. He stepped back, just barely, as if trying to get air. But even from a foot away, the heat between us stayed. Alive. Pulling. I clutched the towel tighter to my chest, not out of modesty, but to hold myself together. Then his phone buzzed on the dresser. Just once. A soft vibration. He hesitated, then picked it up. I watched as his eyes flicked over the screen. His jaw clenched. What is it? I asked, chest tightening. He didn't answer right away. Just locked the phone and placed it down slowly, like it weighed more than it should. It's her, he finally said. A pause. Your ex? I asked, breath caught. He nodded once. She's back in town. I blinked. After all this time? He looked at me, expression torn. She texted yesterday too. I didn't respond. I didn't want to complicate things. But now? She said she needs to talk. In person. I turned away, heart racing in a different rhythm now. Not just from desire, but doubt. Do you still love her? I asked, voice quiet, almost childlike. He crossed the space between us, not touching me yet. No. But she's part of my past. And sometimes, parts of the past don't stay buried. I turned back to him. His eyes were stormy now. The same eyes that moments ago looked at me like I was the only woman in the world. But I'm right here, I whispered. He reached out and touched my cheek. I know. And that's why this is tearing me apart. Our closeness didn't change. If anything, the tension grew sharper, like the truth had only made the pull stronger. Maybe it was the fear of losing the moment. Or maybe it was knowing we were one decision away from something that couldn't be undone. He leaned closer again, voice low and rough. I've never wanted you like I do right now. I swallowed hard. Then show me. His hand slid to the back of my neck, gently, firmly. Our bodies met again, no more inches between us, no more pauses. My towel loosened around my shoulders, but I didn't stop it. I didn't want space anymore. His lips hovered above mine. If we do this, I know, I whispered. Silence. Heat. Breath. And then, no more waiting. Our lips met. Soft at first. Careful. Then deeper. Like everything we'd held back came flooding forward. His arms wrapped around me, pulling me in. I clung to him, needing to feel every inch of the man who made my heart race and my mind scream at the same time. Nothing else existed now. Not the past. Not the text. Just us. His lips moved with mine, slowly at first, then with a kind of urgency that had nothing to do with lust, and everything to do with everything we hadn't said. I felt it in the way he held me, not just tightly, but carefully, like I was something breakable, something sacred. The towel slipped from my shoulders, but he didn't rush. His hands rested at my waist, still, warm, steady. We breathed into each other's mouths, forehead to forehead, hearts thudding like drums against skin. I forgot how this felt, I whispered, fingers pressed to his chest. He nodded, voice hoarse. I never stopped wanting you. The room melted around us. No more salt lamps or flickering candles. No more text messages waiting in the dark. Just this. Just now. He picked me up gently, laying me down on the bed as if placing something priceless. The sheet brushed against my skin, cool where his hands had been warm. He hovered above me, brushing a stray hair from my face. You okay? He asked again, his voice low but trembling. I've never been more sure, I breathed. And then, like the dam breaking, everything rushed forward. His hands, his mouth, his breath, all of it touched with something deeper than desire. It was memory. Longing. Love, wrapped in heat. Each kiss felt like a promise. Each sigh, a confession. And just when I thought nothing could pull us away from this moment, he froze. His eyes locked on mine, suddenly clouded, not with passion, but with something heavier. I need to tell you something, he said. My heart dropped. What is it? I asked, voice barely a whisper. He sat up slightly, still beside me but no longer lost in the moment. She didn't just want to talk, he said, slowly. She's pregnant. The air left the room. Time stopped. I blinked, unsure I'd heard him right. What? He looked away. It might not be mine. But if it is, I need to know. I owe her that. I sat up too, the intimacy now replaced by something sharper. Pain. Confusion. Real life. And yet, I still wanted him. Maybe more than ever. But now, a choice stood between us. Do we go forward? Or walk away before we fall deeper? The room was quiet again. Not heavy with tension this time, but softer, like the storm had passed. We sat side by side on the edge of the bed, wrapped in the same white sheet. His hand rested on my knee, fingers tracing small circles that said more than words ever could. I didn't want to ruin this, he said. I just couldn't keep it from you. I nodded. I know. The truth had shaken me, yes, but it hadn't broken me. And somehow, even after the words, the touch still felt warm. Still felt like home. What happens now? I asked. He took a long breath, then exhaled slowly. We find out the truth. And whatever it is. I don't want to lose this. I don't want to lose you. The sincerity in his voice touched something deep inside me. He wasn't perfect. Neither was I. But this, us, was still real. I don't want to lose you either, I said. He leaned in, not with urgency this time, but with tenderness. Our lips met again, slower, fuller, like sealing a promise. There was no rush. No fear. Just the warmth of two people finally choosing each other, even in the messiness of real life. His forehead rested against mine. Let's take it one step at a time. Together? I asked. Always, he said. We lay back down, not to rush into passion, but to rest in the closeness we had rediscovered. His arm wrapped around me, fingers laced with mine, the kind of touch that lingered beyond the moment. Outside, the world kept moving. But inside this room, it felt like time paused, just for us. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel unsure. I felt wanted. Loved. Chosen.